The starship Endeavour drifted silently through the uncharted depths of the Andromeda sector, its crew tense with anticipation. Captain Elias Monroe stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the holographic display showing a distant object of unknown origin. The signal had first appeared as a faint whisper in the ship's long-range sensors, a pulsating beacon with no discernible pattern. Now, after weeks of pursuit, they had finally reached its source. "Commander Patel, what are we looking at?" Monroe asked, his voice steady but charged with curiosity. Lieutenant Commander Mira Patel scanned the incoming data. "It's enormous. Nearly 10 kilometers in length, Captain. Composition is unfamiliar, some kind of hybrid organic metallic alloy. There are no emissions, no life signs. It's just there." Elias exchanged a glance with his science officer, Dr. Lillian Hayes, who looked equally perplexed. "Silent and still? That doesn't bode well," he muttered. "Helm, take us closer." The Endeavour inched forward, its sleek hull gliding effortlessly through the black void. As they closed in on the structure, its features became clearer. A dark, elongated vessel with strange, jagged protrusions that seemed to defy known engineering principles. "This thing isn't just a ship," Lillian whispered. "It's a relic. A remnant of something far older than us." Before Monroe could respond, the ship's comms system crackled to life, static filling the bridge. Then, a voice, deep and distorted, echoed through the speakers. "You have come too far." The bridge fell silent. Monroe straightened. "Source?" Patel shook her head. "Unknown. It's coming from inside the structure." Monroe exhaled slowly. "All right. Prep an away team. Let's find out who or what is inside." The boarding craft slipped into the alien ship's cavernous docking bay, its landing lights casting long shadows on the ancient walls. Monroe, Patel, Dr. Hayes, and a small security team disembarked cautiously, their footsteps echoing through the eerie silence. "Keep your comms open," Monroe ordered. "We don't know what we're walking into." The interior was a labyrinth of corridors, each lined with strange, pulsating veins of energy. Faint symbols etched into the walls glowed softly, whispering a language long forgotten. As they ventured deeper, Patel's scanner beeped softly. "Captain, I'm picking up faint biosignatures," she reported. "Weak, but present." Monroe nodded. "Let's move carefully. Stay alert." Dr. Hayes ran her fingers across the glowing symbols, her brow furrowed. "These markings, they're not just decorative. They're part of the ship's neural network. It's alive, in a way." Before they could process the revelation, a low growl resonated through the corridors. The team froze, weapons drawn. From the darkness, shapes began to move, elongated figures with spindly limbs and eyes that burned with an otherworldly light. "Contact!" Monroe barked. The creatures moved with unnerving speed, their bodies shifting fluidly between solid and mist. The security team opened fire, energy bolts searing through the darkness, but the entities barely flinched. "Fall back," Monroe ordered. The team retreated, their footsteps pounding against the metallic floor. As they neared the docking bay, one of the creatures lunged at Patel, its ethereal form wrapping around her like a shroud. She screamed, struggling against its grip. "Hold on!" Monroe fired, his shot disrupting the creature long enough for Patel to break free. They scrambled aboard the boarding craft, sealing the hatch as the creatures clawed against the exterior. "Get us out of here!" Monroe shouted. The craft blasted out of the docking bay, racing back toward the Endeavour. As they docked, Monroe was already barking orders. "Raise shields. Prepare for immediate departure." "Captain," Patel gasped, catching her breath. "Those things, they weren't attacking us. They were warning us." Dr. Hayes studied the data frantically. "She's right. The creatures weren't trying to harm us. They were trying to communicate. Look at this, patterns in their movement, resonance in their vocalizations. They were warning us to stay away." Monroe exhaled, staring at the alien vessel looming outside the viewport. "But warning us of what?" Before an answer could come, the alien ship trembled. Dark tendrils of energy unfurled from its surface, stretching out into space. An ominous pulse echoed through the Endeavor, shaking the ship violently. "Sir, something's happening inside that vessel," Patel said urgently. "Get us out of here," Monroe ordered. The ship surged into motion, breaking away from the vessel, but the tendrils extended faster, reaching toward them. Suddenly, the comms crackled again. "You should not have come. The void watches." A chilling presence filled the bridge, a sense of dread washing over them. Monroe gritted his teeth. "Jump to warp. Now." The Endeavor leapt into hyperspace, leaving the haunted ship behind. Monroe turned to his crew, his expression hard. "We need to find out what that was, and fast." Back in the lab, Dr. Hayes analyzed the data retrieved from the alien vessel. "Captain, this isn't just an alien ship. It's a prison. Those creatures, they're its prisoners. And something far worse is inside." Monroe's expression darkened. "Then we have to warn the fleet." Before he could issue the order, alarms blared. "Captain, incoming vessel detected," Patel shouted. On screen, a massive, dark figure loomed in the void, a ship unlike any they had seen before, its hull pulsating with an ominous glow. "They followed us," Monroe muttered. The alien vessel opened fire, its energy beams striking the Endeavor, shaking the ship to its core. "Return fire," Monroe commanded. The Endeavor fired back, its weapons lighting up the void, but the enemy ship absorbed the blasts effortlessly. "Sir, our weapons aren't doing anything," Patel called out. "Divert power to engines." "We need to outrun them," Monroe barked. As the ship accelerated, the alien vessel gave chase, its presence growing more oppressive by the second. "Captain," Hayes said urgently, "the data we retrieved, there's something in it." "A weakness?" "Then find it." As Hayes worked frantically, the alien ship closed in, its tendrils reaching toward the Endeavor once more. Just as they were about to be overtaken, Hayes shouted, "There! Target their core, it's resonating at a specific frequency. It's a weak point." Monroe didn't hesitate. "Fire at the coordinates." The Endeavor's cannons discharged a focused burst at the alien ship's core. A massive explosion erupted, sending shockwaves through the void. The alien vessel shuddered, its form collapsing in on itself. A stunned silence filled the bridge. "Status?" Monroe asked. "They're gone," Patel confirmed, exhaling in relief. Monroe sat back, running a hand through his hair. "That was too close." Hayes stared at the screen. "Captain, the message we intercepted, it wasn't just a warning. It was a plea. There's something else out there. Something watching. And we might have just woken it up." Monroe looked out into the darkness beyond the stars, his jaw set. "Then we'd better be ready for what's coming."